Boom. All right. So today's headline is leverage your friends, family, and work environment to create a fat burning furnace. All right. So by the end of today's presentation, y'all will understand the entire framework and how to make this your reality. So take y'all down memory lane. Pretty much, right? For me, growing up, my family almost had like a tradition, right? Our tradition was we would wake up early, go to church, and then after church, we'd come home. Mom might continue cooking. Maybe she started cooking before church started. And, most of us took a power nap. We had that glory nap. Those of you who had that kind of a upbringing, you know that, after church naps are a thing for real, you know? And then after that, sometime early evening we would have a family dinner, right? And just the smells of that home cooked meal, for those 4 years that I lived out of state, that was one of the things that I miss the most was that home cooked meal. It's a little bit different than a meal prep for sure, as we can all attest. We do have some chefs in here, so I'm sure that y'all make it delicious. But with that being said, you know, after moving back in town and being back home, this is something that is valuable to me, not just the food in itself, which is delicious, but also that family time that we spend together, right? I can think of, the smell of the crock pot. She made a lot of different stuff, but I remember that crock pot when she made that pot roast, what I'm saying, with the Meyer paw in there, with the celery, the the onions and all that delicious, the carrots, you know what I'm saying, with the mashed potatoes, with the crescent rolls, fresh out the oven with the butter, So, y'all gonna have me salivating over here. But essentially, what happened was as I began to get ready for bodybuilding shows or competitions, you know, it no longer fit within the guidelines or the framework of my diet, right? It would bring me further away from my goal than closer to. Now, when I'm in the off season, I have flexibility. I can make it work. It's no big deal, right? I'll have it as a second cheat meal or whatever it is, the third cheat meal, whatever. Now, early on, when I might start prepping or dieting, I remember one day me sitting there, shaking. I was shaking because I was trying not to eat the food that she made. But everybody around me was eating. I didn't bring anything with me. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? So I'm struggling. I'm like, this is not sustainable. Like I can't keep doing this. So, my mom, she's very intuitive. So she asked me, okay, what can you eat? I told her pretty much protein and veggies, I can make happen pretty easily. Right. So what she essentially started to do was she would make her big dinner, right? Let's just say she made like a meat potato pie. And then she would take the meat that she put in the meat potato pie, she made some extra, had that on the side, and then she always would have like a salad and some type of like steamed or roast vegetables as well. And that way I was able to still be a part of the family dinner while everyone else didn't have to necessarily be on a diet because I'm on a diet, you know. This was our solution. And then there came a point in time during my diet or during my prep where this wasn't a valid solution anymore because, I would have my cheat meal that was designated on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'm not really monitoring my portions because it tastes so good. Even though I'm only eating protein and veggies, coach realized, why does every Monday morning your weight jump up? You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on here? He pointed that out and pretty much nipped it in the bud, right? So at this point now, I had to once again change directions or course correct. So at this point, I began to actually bring meal prep with me to family dinner. That way, while everyone else was eating, I could warm up my meal prep and eat and still enjoy that time together as a family, right? And this is how I essentially came together or came up with this framework. So, step one of the framework is let your family and friends know that you have made this commitment to lose fat, this commitment to do the Natural Body 12-week program, right? And why? What are your goals, right? Share with them what your goals are. You you're more than likely to find that those people that you call friends and family are actually very supportive of you, right? And once you've communicated what you have going on and why, they're going to want to know how can they support you. Step number two, let your family and friends know how they can support you. This is a picture actually in the crowd when I did my bodybuilding show. I had all the homies lined up, right? Then the first one, this is the picture of all the homies and my family, just showing love. You know what I'm saying? Step three, have your meals prepped and accessible. This one right here, this kind of goes to that whole Benjamin Franklin quote where he said, fail to plan, to fail to plan is to plan to fail, right? So this is where once I had to keep it tight, I was bringing my meals to family dinner, right? Set myself up for success so I didn't have to go through the struggle of trying to resist, right? Or, for example, in your work life, kind of like we were discussing earlier, that's why this is like perfect timing, for you to probably start working and for us to have this kind of a conversation, right? It's just having those meals prepped and accessible for you while you are at work. I do realize the challenge of, the microwave access with the type of work that you do that presents its own challenge. But you know, staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? And then step number four, right? In the event that you haven't prepared your meals and you don't have them with you, let this not be an excuse for you to not accomplish your goals, right? Let this not be an excuse for you to fall off course. So what you can do, and then also, right, some people have social obligations for work. Some people have to do work outings, right? And so in these different cases, you want to select restaurants or fast food places with options that fit your plan, that fit your program. It's not too hard to find chicken breasts, grilled chicken breasts at most fast food joints. It's not too hard to find at In-N-Out. If you're trying to keep your carbs lower, it's not too hard to get a lettuce wrap burger. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your protein, fat, and vegetables, no carbs, right? So there's different ways that we can make this work, even, if you haven't prepared that meal ahead of time and don't have it with you. Now, here's a case study, a success story of one of my uh, previous clients from time ago. Now, I noticed that up until this point, I've shown you a bunch of male transformations. So I was actually excited when I saw this in the archives, just to share with you that, hey, I'm equal opportunity with this fat loss. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. So here we have Madeline, right? And Madeline, when we did this transformation, she was a bachelor's of science and nursing student. She was a nursing student. For anyone who's gone to college, you know that the nursing majors don't have much of a life, right? Quote unquote. They make it work. But just to say, they can be under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress because it's a very, very demanding major, right? So she had the obligations of nursing school. And she lived on dorm. She lived on campus. She had roommates, right? This is to say that, you know, if she really wanted to, she could have made the excuse, oh, my roommates brought this in the house. My roommates brought chips, cookies, and all this good stuff into the house. So, I can't resist it, right? Just to say that she didn't necessarily have control over her environment or her stimulus while at home. because she had roommates, right? So this is a success story of someone who actually took this framework, right? Who took letting your friends and family know what you're committed to and what your goal is, why, right? Letting them know how they can support you, having your food prepped and accessible. And then, of course, whenever you do have to eat out, making sure that you make decisions or choices that fit within the framework of your goal. So that way you can still achieve your goals. All right. So there we have it. These past three sessions, we have gone over three secrets of the natural body method. Our first session together was how to achieve your dream body in just 6 hours a week. Our second session was you don't need a fast metabolism or good genetics. And today's session was how to leverage your friends, family, and your work environment to create a fat burning furnace, right? With the proof to show you guys someone who successfully implemented each of these secrets to accomplish success using the natural body method. And the beautiful thing is, y'all already have everything you need. Y'all already have all the information, all the tools is provided to you within this program. So hopefully, this presentation was able to kind of increase your conviction of what you're doing, equip you and give you tools to continue to achieve success within this program. Especially as you go back to work and working more hours with unpredictable, schedules and things of that nature. So uh, that is today's lesson.